Today we'll look at how to create a Google form. This is a quick and easy way to gather data from a large number of users. To create a Google form, you need to have a Google account. This is free to create. Once you're logged into that account, go to the Google homepage. Then click on these squares up here. Then click on the Google's app icon up here. And if you scroll down, you'll see the Forms icon. Click on that. And now we're on the Google Forms page. To create a Google form, you can start from scratch or you can use one of the templates. To see more of the templates, click this arrow here to expand it, and you can scroll down. There's many different types of templates here: party invites, work applications, job applications, education. If you click on one, you can see the pre-made fields here, and you can customize it as you like. But in this video, we'll create our own form from scratch. So I'll click back, I'll click out of the template gallery, and now here I'll click blank form. So I'll click this, and we have our new empty form. Now for this example, let's say I want to create a job application for a barista. I'll put a title on my form. I'll say barista job application. This is what people that fill out the form will see. Now up here you'll see that my form is currently untitled. This is the name of the form I will see in my Google Drive. I'll call this barista job application. I'll just say 2025. So this doesn't have to be the same name as this, but it can be. Down here we have a description. This is also something that the users will see when they fill out the form. I'll just paste the description in here. Now down here we can start entering our fields. We already have one field by default, but let's change the type of field it is. I want it to be the first name. So I'll click on this untitled question here. I'll type first name. And Google is smart enough to automatically select the short answer option here. You can see there are many different types of fields. Short answer is going to allow the user to enter a short bit of text, which is perfect for a name. Let's add a last name field. Now that's pretty similar to the first name. So I'll just click this button here, duplicate question. And now I have another short answer field. Instead of first, I'll type last. And now we have two fields. I also want to make both these fields required. So when I have a field selected, I'll just select this box here that says required. So I'll click this. Let me click on the first name field again. Then I'll also make it required. So now you can see the fields will have the red star next to it when they're required. Let's add a different type of field. This one will be for years of experience. I want this to be a multiple choice question. So with my last name field selected, I'll click this plus here, and it added a question below it. The default of multiple choice is what I want. I'll call it years of experience. Now when I did that, it automatically selected short answer again. I actually don't want that. I want it to be the original choice, multiple choice. And I can add options here. So I'll say 0. Then I'll click this here to add another option. Let's add 1. Let's do another field for 2. And let's do another field for 3 or more. So this is how we do a multiple choice field. Let's now ask them what days of the week they'd like to work. So I'll click the plus to add a question. Now this isn't going to be a radio button. This is going to be checkboxes. And checkboxes allow people to check multiple options. So I'll select this. I'll type days available. And when you notice when I click off it, Google's AI is smart enough to know these options that I want here. It suggests that I add all the days of the week. And that's what I want. So I'll press add all here. And it automatically fills in all the days of the week here. So I'm pretty happy with that option. And let's add one more field asking the user when they can start. So this is a date. So I'll click add question here. I'll choose the type. And this is going to be a date. So I'll choose this. And I'll type when can you start. I won't go over the rest of the fields, but if I click on this plus again, you can see there's many different types here. We can have paragraphs, file uploads, ratings. But I think we have enough questions for now. Let's customize the look of the form to match our brand. To change how our form looks, click on this paint palette up here that says Customize Theme. And here we have options for styling our form. Now I don't recommend going too crazy here. You want to make sure your form is easy to use and read, and the default settings are pretty good for that. But certainly we can add a header image or change the color. To change the color, just choose the different palettes down here. So I can make it green, red, blue. I can also choose a header image. So I'll press choose image here. There are pre-made images. You can also upload an image or choose from your photos. Let's go back to themes. I'll go to food and dining. And we're a coffee shop, so I'll scroll down here. Let's choose this cafe one. I'll click insert. And now we have an image above it. And when you load an image, it comes with predefined colors. I can change the different settings. I like this green one, so I'll keep that. So now that we're done customizing the theme, I'll close it. Now as you build your form, it's a good practice to occasionally preview what it looks like. And we can do that by clicking the eye here. So I'll press this, preview. And now you can see what it looks like from the user's perspective. We have our first and last name required. If I scroll down, we have our years of experience, days available checkbox. And we have the date we can start here. It's a calendar pop-up. Notice how it tells us that it's not published yet, so no one can see this except us. I'll close this one and go back to editing our form. It may warn you if you entered some test data, but that's okay. You can just say leave. Now, what if you want to rearrange the order of your questions? To do that, you can just hover over the top of your question, and then click and drag, and move it somewhere else. So now I have first name, years of experience, last name. I don't exactly like that, so let's put it back the way it was. I'll click last name, drag it up, and I'll put it there. If you want to delete a question, just select it, and then press the trash can icon there. You can also spread your form across different pages. Let's just have first and last name on one page, and then put the rest of the questions on a second page. To do that, I'll select the last name field again, and then I'll click these two boxes here that say Add Section. So I'll press this, and now we'll have a new section. So if I scroll down, I'll just type something here. Let's say second page. Let's preview this and see what it looks like. I'll click the I. So I'll scroll down. We have our first page here. Let's say test, test. And then if I click next, we have the second page of questions. And at the bottom, there would be the submit option. Let's close this. If you want to move the section break, select it, then click these three dots here, and then say merge with above to just remove the break. If you say delete section, it'll get rid of your questions too. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to say merge with above. And we're back to what we were before. Now let's actually publish our form so people can use it. To do that, we start with the button up here, publish, so let's click that. And we can choose who we want to respond, or we can just say anyone that has the link can respond to our form. So I'll click publish again. Now here's the URL for our form. I like to make it shorter, so I check this box that says shorten URL. Now we get the shortened version. I'll copy that. And now we can send this link to people and they can use the form. Now users don't actually need a Google account to enter form data. I'm using Microsoft Edge here and I'm not logged into Google. Let's paste the link to our form. So that's our form. I'll press enter. And let's start entering some test data. I'll say John Smith. Let's just click some values here. Choose what days we want to work. When can we start? I'll submit another response. Let's say Jane Williams. Just enter some more data. Let's enter one more. And I'll submit it. As you get responses, you'll see the count here. Let's click on it and see what the responses say. I'll click on responses. And there's four main ways to visualize the responses. On the summary page, you can see what they entered for each field. Now this may not be useful for things like names, but if we scroll down, for things like numeric data, it actually shows it really clearly. If we go to the question tab, this is kind of a similar visualization. So we can select one of the numeric fields, years of experience, and we can see what people responded with. And then we can select individual here, and this will show us the whole form as a user entered it. So for John Smith, if I scroll through, I can see exactly what he entered for everything, and I can scroll through and see the other users. But one of the most valuable ways to visualize the results is to use Google Sheets. And we can do that with a link right here, link to Sheets. So I'll press this. And the first time you do this, it'll ask you if you want to create a new spreadsheet or select an existing spreadsheet. Let's create a new one. So I'll select create. And now I have a Google Sheet here with my responses in it. And this is very valuable because I can easily copy and paste it. I can sort it. I can do all sorts of Google Sheet operations with the data. And the cool thing about this is that it dynamically updates in real time. Let's submit another form right next to it. I'll say George Perkins. Let's enter some values. I'll click submit. And you see it get updated immediately. And there's all my data. If you decide you want to stop accepting responses, go back to your forms page. Where it says published up here, click these sliders. And then just uncheck this box. And be sure to click save. So I'll press save. And now let's review the form again. If I try to submit another response, we get the message that it's no longer accepting responses. Let's briefly look at a few advanced options. I'll show you what's available, and you can let me know in the comments if you want a full video on the topic. First, you can add collaborators that can also add questions to your form. You can do this by clicking the share link here. Then you'll have the ability to add people here and give them editor access. If you have programming skills, Google Forms also supports scripting. Click on the three dots up here, and then just choose App Script to open the editor. Similarly, you can use add-ons to get additional features in Google Forms. Select this option here that says Get Add-ons, and you'll be taken to the Google Marketplace. If you scroll down, you can see lots of add-ons for forms, and these will provide additional features. And finally, you can embed your form into a website. With the three dots selected here, click Embed HTML, copy the iframe code, and then paste it into your website's HTML. Are there any Google tools you want to see a tutorial for? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.